We are officially in July, which means we are halfway through the new year of 2025. That means today I'm going to give you my three best, my three worst, my most surprising, and my most disappointing movies of 2025 thus far. Before I dive in, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that bell so you never miss another video. And while you're down there, tell me what are your best, your worst, your most surprising, your most disappointing movies of the year halfway through. At the end of the year, I'm just going to do the best movies from each category. So like the best comic book movie, the best action movie, the best horror movie. I'm going to do that every year from now on. I like that style of video. Here's how we're going to do. I'm going to give you one in the best, one in the worst, another one in the best, another one in the worst, my most surprising, my most disappointing, my best, or my worst, then my best. That's what I'm going to be doing here. So, with that said, number 3 in the best, the third best movie of the year so far. Actually, before I share that, I'm going to give you 2 honorable mentions, and I'm going to give you an honorable mention for my worst. My 2 honorable mentions, The Materialist, Superman. These are both movies I left the theater and I instantly said, that's a top 3 movie of the year, and then I thought about it and then had my top 3 be slightly better. The Materialist, just a fantastic look into the dating world of 2025. Superman, just a great comic book movie, which proves that James Gunn never misses. So both of those movies could be in my top 3. But my number 3 is Sinners, a movie that I just bought on 4K yesterday. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and the first viewing, I thought to myself, this is not what I expected it to be, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I found the first half of the movie to be absolutely perfect, but then the second half of the movie, I felt like it's not as near as good as that first half. So, I was on vacation when I went to go see it. So, as soon as I got back, a couple days later, I went to see it in IMAX. And because I had those tampered expectations, the movie blew me away. It was a 4-star movie after my first viewing. It's 4.5. I went to see it one more time, so I've saw it 3 times. I have not watched it on 4K yet, but it is something that I really want to do soon. Movie blows me away. I mean, the first half, like I said, is still perfect. It's a perfect study of these characters to set up what's going to be a thrilling night. And it is awesome. Performances are great. Michael B. Jordan playing dual roles. He's awesome. Miles Cantor absolutely kills it. I mean, this is one of his first roles, and he is awesome. Jack O'Connell as Remick is a fantastic villain. The second half of the movie isn't as strong as that first half of the movie. I'll be completely honest there. But it is still really good. It still has some thrilling moments, some awesome kills, blood, gore. Great performance by Jack O'Connell. I mean, everything that he does in this movie is great. And then when we get to the scene where the music scene, if you know what scene I'm talking about, you know what scene I'm talking about. The IMAX aspect ratio completely changed my look on film. It was just perfect. So the second viewing blew me away. The third viewing just solidified the movie as just an all-timer movie. And this is one that Ryan Coogler directs absolutely perfectly. And obviously, he hasn't missed yet. My honorable mention for the worst spot is Flight Risk, Mel Gibson's new movie. This is one that it gets worse and worse after thinking about it. I think that I enjoyed watching it in the theater, but more I think about it like it's directed by Mel Gibson, one of the best directors of all time, possibly. And he just makes a movie that has a CGI moose as the first shot and just a generic thriller that doesn't make all this sense. It's a movie I define as a January movie, so it's not good. That is my honorable mention. Number 3 on the worst was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and one of the biggest disappointments that I could talk about on the disappointment list, Wolfman. Leigh Whannell is a great director. He directed The Invisible Man, which I thought was a really good horror movie. He directed Upgrade, which is just a really unique and cool sci-fi action movie. And this movie, it had an interesting first act, but as soon as after that first act and you get into the main story, it is just a drag, man. I suffered trying to force myself to be entertained. It's him getting infected and he's sitting around the house saying, I love you, kid. I love you, wife. I won't let anything happen to you. And then the wife is just knocking some stuff against the wall to keep the other Wolfman out. And then the husband says, I love you, wife, and I love you, daughter, or son. Was it daughter? I don't really know because the movie sucked. Anyways, it's just that going on and on and on and on and on and on for like 45 minutes. And then you get the scene where they're finally attacked, and it's got a little bit of enjoyment there. But by that time, I was just so far checked out, and then it gets kind of repetitive again, where it's Wolfman goes after other Wolfman, and then they fight, and then it's all that. And the movie is just a drag. There's a good movie hidden in here somewhere, but I left the theater saying, that was so disappointing. Specifically because it was my first ever early screening I went to. Early screening, one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I was so excited, and I left saying, oh my god, that was so slow. Number 2 on my best, Thunderbolts. The MCU definitely has struggled recently, but I was really looking forward to this movie because the definition was Suicide Squad, or the villains of the MCU, having the team-up movie. The Suicide Squad of the MCU. So, very obviously, that sounded great. We get to see Florence Pugh's Yelena, that we love. We get to see Red Guardian, Bucky, U.S. Agent, Ghost. Characters that we've only seen in one project, and for a cinematic universe you want to see more of. We get to see those. So when all the negative people were saying, oh yeah, it's not going to be a good movie, it's just going to be Marvel's Suicide Squad ripoff, I thought to myself, how can you not be excited for it? I was, and it totally paid off, but for a completely different reason. Yes, the stuff with the superheroes were awesome. Yes, I love seeing these characters again, but the story at its core was a story about mental health. And if you know me, we'll talk about this in my most surprising area. Mental health movies are a big win for me. If your movie explores mental health and it's not just, oh, I want to kill myself, oh, and it actually has themes that don't feel like it's just over forcing us to see, oh yeah, they're depressed, then it'll work for me. And this one is a perfect representation of that. Whether you get Sentry or Bob, who's just a lovable character and already probably the top 5 character inside the MCU, and what he does, and the themes exploring him, but also the themes exploring Yelena, they're just perfect. And for me, what I've been through in my life, they really, really worked and had me in tears most of the movie. And then obviously you get the stuff, you get the stuff you went to this movie for, which was the cast interacting with each other, great action set pieces, Sentry is an awesome villain, but the ending of the movie is completely different, where most movies you get a big CGI battle, villains getting punched in the face by heroes in capes. No, this one you stop the villain in capes with a simple hug. And it's so unique and brought a tear to my eye that I can't help but say it's perfect. And the fact that 2025, right after 2024, which was probably the worst year for comic book movies of all time, has 2 comic book movies in the top 5 with Superman and Thunderbolts. So far for me, anyways. It's going to be a great year because specifically we still have Fantastic Four First Steps on the way too. But Thunderbolts just edges itself out as the best comic book movie of the year and one of the best movies of the year. Number 2 in the worst, Lilo and Stitch, a Disney live-action remake that I was kind of looking forward to, you know? I love the original. People were saying this one's not completely atrocious. So, I went to the theater, I watched the movie, and it sucked. It was not good. Number 1, I love that original movie, like I said. So watching the actress who played Lilo and the actress who played Nani, well, the actress who played Nani was actually pretty good. Honestly, I'm sorry to say this, I don't like hating on kid actors, but the actress that played Lilo was not good. She just was screaming and doing all that. They do nothing to make us care for Lilo. The first freaking scene we see her in the movie is stealing someone else's stuff. No. I don't know if they did that in the original, but they actually make us care for Lilo in the original. This movie, you have her steal things, and you have her go screaming, and you have her quite literally ruining Nani's life. Stitch he has fun moments, he has funny moments occasionally, but the movie isn't really funny. It's incredibly boring. From the start of the movie, I was just completely checked out, like, oh, how long does the movie have left? An hour? I gotta sit through this movie for an hour? The good thing is my mom, my brother's girlfriend, maybe my dad had fun with it. I did not. I felt like I was in hell the entire time. Disney live-action remakes need to stop. Even though there are some I really like, this one is not it. It sucked. Let's talk about my most surprising movies of the year. Some runner-ups for me. And yes, this is going by order of how I rank them Holland, which is a really good movie that is a mix of horror, romantic thriller. I dug this one. Fight or Flight, which is a movie where Josh Hartnett throws chainsaws at people. It's awesome. Predator, Killer of Killers. It is an animated anthology movie, and it's really great. Warfare, a movie I haven't heard of, and even though it's not as entertaining, it's a really unique experience. Love Hurts, a movie that I was not looking forward to whatsoever, and I left the theater probably being one of the only people on the planet to have loved the movie. But my most surprising movie of 2025 is one of the best Blumhouse movies, if not the best Blumhouse movie of all time, and a movie that is getting way too much hate. The Woman in the Yard. I love this movie. Like I said with Thunderbolts, you take a movie, you put mental health themes in it, and I'm probably going to like it. And this one did that. For the majority of the movie, it does have generic aspects to it, but it's, at the very least, incredibly entertaining because of the direction by the director, whose name I'm not going to say because I know I will mess it up, who does some unique things with shadows, kind of makes us care about the characters, and keeps you invested. Like, who is this woman? Why is she in their yard? And what's the backstory? And it kept me invested the whole movie. And then we get to the third act, and it does have some more generic jump scare stuff, but the themes about mental health and what the movie's actually about, who the woman in the yard actually is, completely captivated me, man, and made me leave the theater. I was shocked at how much I liked this movie. And I thought I would hate it, and I loved it. And I thought about it for days. And it still remains a top 10 movie of the year for me. Yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm just as shocked as you are that a Blumhouse generic horror movie is fantastic. Alright, it's time for some disappointing movies. Now, I always feel like I have to define disappointing, where they're not movies that are bad, but I had such high expectations for, and they did not meet those expectations. Let's start with Karate Kid Legends, which I liked more than most, but it's definitely not a good movie whatsoever. It's an entertaining one, though. Novocaine, which is a movie that I was really looking forward to, and I just left thinking it was a fine action movie. Jurassic World Rebirth was a pretty huge disappointment, specifically because of how much I was actually looking forward to the movie. And I just left it thinking it was one of the weaker Jurassic movies. F1, which is a movie that was fantastic its first half and then kind of turned generic and didn't get the thought of the movie being generic in the second half. But my most disappointing movie, and if you've seen any of the videos where I discuss this movie, you probably already know the answer. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. One of my favorite franchises of all time. And I was so excited for this movie, and it let me down. The movie's so exposition heavy to where it's a 3-hour-long movie and we only get 2 action sequences the entire time. Now, to be completely fair, those action sequences are great. I saw the movie in IMAX and it completely blew me away. But the movie itself has so much exposition. It's like, alright guys, we gotta do this and this and this to do this mission, but before we do that mission, we gotta do this and this and this for another mission, and before we do that one, we gotta do this and this and this for another one. It feels so bogged down, dare I say, boring at times, and so unfortunate as one of my favorite franchises for being one of the most thrilling movie franchises of all time, to leave it saying, that was a little bit boring. Very unfortunate, and definitely my most disappointing movie of the year so far. But let's talk about my worst movie of the year. Let's roast this movie. A Working Man. Man, David Ayer's last movie, team up with Jason Statham, was really good. The Beekeeper was very clearly a John Wick ripoff, but it was a really good one. This movie is not. How freaking hard is it to mess up Taken with Jason Statham? Someone's daughter gets taken, sold into sex trafficking. He's got to do some Jason Statham stuff to save the daughter. What do they do? What do they do in the movie? He goes off for the majority of the movie and starts tracking down drug dealers that don't have any relation to the kidnapped girl. It's like he says, yeah, I'm gonna do some Jason Statham stuff and beat the crap out of bad guys, but then I'm gonna go buy some crystal meth from this guy and infiltrate a ring or a drug ring because I'm Jason Statham. I gotta stop the bad guys. And so you're constantly like, well, what about the daughter? Don't forget about the daughter. You know, the one that is in the sex trafficking ring that you probably don't want to be there. You probably want to rescue her as much as possible. But no, we spent an hour of the movie, and it's not like it's even him doing Jason Statham stuff. It is him talking to people. Hey, can I buy some of that crystal meth, man? Can I buy some of the crystal meth? Dude, like, it is so boring. The action's not good. The story sucks. And I just left the theater thinking, oh, I mean, it's not very hard to do Taken with Jason Statham, but they messed it up. They messed it up severely. It's not good. But my favorite movie of the year, Companion, one of my most anticipated, because I was just so intrigued by what this was. I went in so blind. I had no idea what the story was, and I left this theater loving the movie. It was a mystery movie. It is a horror movie, not really a horror movie, kind of more like a thriller movie, where 20 minutes into the movie, you get this big twist that I did not see coming whatsoever. Flip the movie on its head, and from then on out, it is a ton of fun for the rest of the movie. Sophie Thatcher gives a great performance. Jack Quaid is amazing in here as well. It is just fun from start to finish. That is the one word, fun. Some thrilling moments. Just an overall great movie. And for some reason, no movie this year has been able to capture the feeling of when I walked out of the theater saying, that movie was awesome. And I think it's because of the script. This movie was written perfectly. And I just had a great time with it. So yes, Companion is my favorite movie of the year. Alright, stay tuned this weekend. We got Superman spoiler review, and of course, we got the James Gunn ranking. That's my next two videos, so stay tuned for those, and with that said, subscribe.